Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So my wife's car finally got put in the shop after 3 months of being wrecked. Now it was drivable and she did drive it, but that is way too long for any vehicle to have to wait to go into the shop. Now 2 months of that was the insurance fault, and I'll probably do a video on that. But then the last month was just the body shop was just so tied up that they could not get it in. But we finally got that in there. And we have our rental car, and I'm not going to miss out on a chance to do a review of any vehicle. So what we have here is a 2019 Jeep Latitude. Now I do want to say this is not four-wheel drive. We didn't get to choose that, so it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the outside features. I'll go over some of the inside options, and then we'll take it for a drive down the road, and I'll kind of talk about how it drives. I have driven this car quite a bit actually. We took it on a road trip, and I've probably driven it 250 to 300 miles or something like that. So I do have some seat time behind this car, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. So let me get you all off the tripod and take you for a tour around this 2019 Jeep Latitude. Okay, I'm going to try something a little different on this video. I actually just mounted the GoPro to my head so you all can see where I'm looking. So you can let me know if you like how I do this video better than some of the other ones where you can actually see me or that I'm holding the camera. But the first place we're going to start is the engine bay. It does have a 2.4 liter engine, 4-cylinder. This one does. They do make 6-cylinder versions of this, and this one does produce 180 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque. Now I do want to say, I did say, you know, that I drove this up the mountain and stuff like that, and this was a little lackluster on the mountain. It needed just a little bit more power, a little bit more torque. The power range came in slow, and that's pretty much all I can say. I mean, it did okay, but after, you know, driving the V8s that I'm used to driving, this was just a little bit lackluster. I don't know what this spot right here is, but it looks like some oil, but I don't know where that came from. It does have shocks on the hood, so it does stay up. Now the styling, I do want to say it does have like LED bulbs. Not sure if the fog lights are LEDs, but I know the headlights are. I don't even think I turned the fog lights on, but the headlights weren't bright enough on low beam. I don't know if it's where these are just so small. This little slot is so small, but I had to leave them on high beam to really be able to see decently at night coming across the mountain. Now the rest of the styling on the SUV I really like. I mean, I like the small design. For my wife, I think this would be a really nice vehicle. In actuality, she really liked it as well. She likes driving it, and it's very comfortable to drive. But I'm used to something just a little bit bigger, and but it is comfortable. It's comfortable enough. The wheels are okay. I can take them or leave them, but I've seen worse. I've seen better. Now the back, this car is from South Carolina. I don't know, like I said, it is a loaner car, so you know, you never know where you're going to get those from. It does have a backup camera, and that backup camera works pretty well actually. You can see inside the trunk here, or the back end of the hatch, it does have quite a bit of room. Push this up right here, you push this little handle, raise this up, and all your spare tire stuff is underneath here, and they did not even take out the little tag piece. There is some storage on the side here, and then some storage on the side over here. You have a couple of hooks at other spots around the vehicle, and then a little light, which is going to be very dim at night. But I do like the fact that it has some storage on the sides, because you know, you can stick stuff down in here like a pump or something like that, and that way, you know, if you was, you know, driving down the road and had a low tire or something, you could have a spare pump here, and it would still not take away from being able to put luggage back here, because that luggage could hang over those areas. And actually the hatch is a little bit heavy. I ain't gonna lie, it's just a little bit heavy, but it's not bad. Maybe the shocks are just really strong on this small vehicle. But here's a look at the whole back end of the vehicle. If you want to see it, it is what it is. So let's take a look at the back end of the car. Now this is me getting in, and this is how much room I have. I mean, there is very, very, very little room right here. I mean, the seat is actually between my legs. So if you have a very big family, this probably is not going to work for you very well. You can look over here on this side. This seat is not even all the way back, and you can see there's just not a lot of room. Now I do want to say right here, these seats are very, very soft. Very soft. I mean, it's actually pretty amazing how soft these seats are. They ride very well. You just don't have a lot of room. Now it does have your air conditioning vents here, and then there's a couple of ports down here, like USB ports, and I actually don't even know what that is. I thought that actually opened, but it does not look like it does. Maybe that's just a cover for the ports. Now if you look right here on the side, you have an armrest. This armrest is crazy tall. I mean, I don't know if you can see that or not, but your arm is actually way up here. I mean, it is a tall armrest. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed this, but it does have a couple of cup holders in it. Maybe they were thinking people's not going to use this armrest, so it doesn't matter. But it is pretty high off the seat. It's hard to get out of here too, because the seats are so small. Now you do have some cup holders in the door, you know, like normal, and some storage area. I don't know how, I wouldn't put anything that had like a bottle or something I might put in here, but anything that had a lid, that didn't have like a screw down lid, I wouldn't put in there, because this is actually angled. I don't know why they would do that. Okay, then we get into the front of the car. Now it does have push button start, as you can see right here, which is a nice feature. The gauge cluster is actually pretty nice overall. I do like how it's laid out. Your steering wheel, you know, you do have your cruise controls here. This you'll adjust your center gauges, the middle gauges. We'll go ahead and start it. You can see it starting up right there. So you can see that this goes through, turn the volume down, turn it off actually. You can see it goes through options right here. It changes it to kilometer, mile per hour. You can go up and down to go through different screens. You can see all your tripometer stuff, your fuel to empty, tire pressure. I do like that it shows you all the tire pressures. I think that is pretty cool. Some vehicles do that, some don't. And then we just left it on the mile per hour. It does have auto headlights. I'm sure you can see that right here. It does have the auto headlight, and then you can adjust your brightnesses right here, which when we got this, it was turned all the way up, and that just made it difficult to see at night. This thing was so bright, and even your screen here is even like set for this kind of, it made the screen so bright even. I mean, it was crazy. Then you have your normal controls over here, which are lock and unlock, and your window buttons, and of course your mirrors. Your mirrors are heated, turn signal stalks and everything just like normal, but there is a compartment right here. It's fairly deep. I mean, I don't know what you'd put in there. I might put my sunglasses in there. Maybe not, because the heat's going to be beating straight down on it, but it does have a little compartment there. And it also does have sunglass holders here, but just like the Tundra, it's very shallow, and there's no way Costa sunglasses would fit in that. You do have two little lights here, which suck, by the way. These lights are horrible. They don't show up anything. It's pretty bad. I think the radio is turned all the way down. You can see all your little icons here. You do have your apps, climate, backup camera, and all that stuff. It has different settings in those. Your phone app, you do have a compass, which is acquiring signal, of course, at my house. Different settings for language, display units, voice, lights, phone, Bluetooth. Then you can go back to media, which is the radio, and the radio is actually right here. The media is for your phone, like if you plug your phone up. The radio popped on real quick. It must have attached to my phone. I didn't even know it. But you can see you got your normal radio, and all this stuff is, you know, is touch. So it's a nice touch screen. It's just not very big. I do want to say that the backup camera on this does have like the Honda where the lines turn. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of how the lines turn. It shows you kind of where you're going. I just like the straight lines and them to not move. Down here, you have your climate control stuff. I do want to say maybe the upgraded versions of this do have the auto feature, but this does not have any auto feature at all. Nothing. So you just, you know, you can turn this and it turns your fan up or down, and that's it. And this right here actually is what makes it colder or hotter. And you can see the little thing pop up right here. I don't know why they did not, you know, install an auto with a digital system, but they didn't. You have your traction control. You can actually turn your screen completely off or back on, mute for the radio, and then here's your auto start stop off function. I hate auto start stop, so I'll show you how to what that is if you don't know, and how to turn that off here in a minute. So down here you have your auxiliary ports, some more storage stuff, and then it has your park and brake, kind of like a Honda Civic. So it has your manual park and brake. I can take those or leave those. They're okay. They're starting to grow on me. It has a couple of cup holders, and then of course your glove box, and then also some storage right here in the center. It has actually 2 storage compartments, but the top one, you're probably just going to put like some notes or pieces of paper in there, kind of like what was in it when we got it. So what we're going to do now is just take it down the road. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it, and just tell you what I think about it. One more thing, it does have mirrors and lights and stuff like that, just like most vehicles do now. You can see the GoPro on my head. So now let's take it down the road, see what we think. Okay, as you can see, the car has cut off. So that is the auto start stop function. I hate that. If you'll just push this little button right here, the vehicle will start right back up and it won't cut off anymore. I wish there was a way to totally disable that, but unfortunately there's not. You just have to hit that button every time you get in the car if you don't like it. So we're gonna get out on the road here and drive it for a little bit, tell you what I think. Now, first of all, I wanna say, taking out of first gear, it does have a little bit of pep. But once you get out of like second gear, that pep kind of goes away. Now we're going down a hill, and you know, there's about 60 mile an hour, 55 mile an hour. And it rides really smooth, but going up hills, it's lackluster. Going down that hill was really nice. It had good pickup. Going up this hill, there's kind of like a pause in the gas pedal. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is, but there is like a pause in the gas pedal. And if you let off the gas and give it back, like right there is when it kicked in. It had almost like a full second delay. And I really don't like that. If you needed that, you know, if you needed that, I mean, like right there, like I just punched it. I don't know, it changes gears really slowly. I guess that's just the nature of the beast, or maybe it's just the nature of the beast, the one I got. Now, I do want to say right there, before it dropped down to a different gear, I hit the gas again and it picked right up. So, you know, it doesn't do it all the time. If you can catch it before it downshifts, it will not do that. But if it downshifts, it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of like it catches in between gears and has a hesitation or a pause. It's not a miss. It doesn't feel like a miss. It's more like a pause. Now, I also want to say that the steering, it's sluggish. It's really sluggish and kind of slow. Just moving it around in the road right here, it's tight, but it's also got a hesitation. I don't exactly know how to explain that, but it does also have a hesitation. When I turn the steering wheel, it doesn't move right away. It, like, watch. I turn the wheel and then it starts taking off. I turn the wheel and then it starts taking off. you have to play into that. I drove this up the mountain when we went on our to our concert Saturday. It was in North Carolina, and I had to drive this up the mountain, and I had to get used to that on the mountain, because when you get into a curve and start to go to the other side, it had just a second before it picked up that other steer. I'm sure you could get used to that if you drove it enough, and I did before I got back home. But first starting out, that was a little weird. I do want to tell you all that. Now, that all being said, the thing rides like a dream. It does not ride like a SUV. It rides more like a Cadillac. It's got really soft suspension, and it just kind of floats on the road. Now, if that's not what you're looking for, this probably isn't the vehicle for you. If you're wanting that more rougher riding suspension, handle the curves better. It handled the curves okay. I'm not going to say it handled bad. The suspension does feel very soft. Like I said, it feels more like a Cadillac. You can tell the vehicle has body roll, but it hung a curve pretty good. I don't know how Jeep accomplished that, because usually with a vehicle with body roll, it doesn't handle curves very well, but it actually handled curves pretty good, but you could still feel the body roll. It was so weird how it did in the mountains with the pause in the steering and the body roll, but still handled decently. I don't know how they did that. I do feel like this is something I could take on a very long trip because of how soft the ride is. It actually rides better than my Tundra, which, you know, has a lift on it, which might affect, you know, the ride a little bit. My wife's Civic, it rides way better than her Civic, or my Mustang, of course, because both those are sports cars. But the seats are just so soft. I can't express that enough. I don't know if I've ever ridden in a vehicle that had seats this comfortable. Okay, so we're fixing to come on some curves up here, and we're going to take it to the top of the mountain, and I'm going to show you how it handles through the curves. Again, I know you're strapped to my head, you're seeing what I see. I hope this doesn't make you sick. If you don't like this style video, let me know in the comments, because I've never tried this. I don't know how you all will like this. So let me turn the air down so maybe you can hear me. But we're going to see how these curves handle. Okay, so I got behind this guy that's slow, so now we're going to see how it goes down the mountain. Sorry about it. I had to go down the mountain instead of up it because that guy just wasn't driving very fast. So we're going to see how it handles in the curves going down the mountain. Like I said, there's just a little bit of hesitation in the steering wheel, and there's some body roll, but as you can see there, it takes that curve pretty good. There's a bigger curve coming up down here. I have to slow down a little bit, take it on the inside, but still you can see right there, it hung right through that curve on the inside. And these don't have the best tires on it right now either. It's got a little wear on the tire, but it really sticks into this curve right here. Here's one that's just a kiss my ass curve. We come right through it. It's actually pretty amazing how well this thing does handle. But there is that hesitation, even right there downshifting. I heard it rev up, and there was still that hesitation even in downshifting. So that's one thing I really do not like about the vehicle, is how the transmission works. And I do get this as a rental, and a lot of people may be driving it kind of like I am right now. I don't know, but maybe they've got the transmission worn. But if they all shift like this, I'm just not a huge fan of it. Last curve right here. Let's give it a little, get it through the curve, and it come right through it. It's fairly peppy for a 4-cylinder, but there again, right there, there's just that hesitation in between shifting gears. So there it is, driving it. It handles curves really well. I don't know how it does that, but it does. It has decent pickup, but there's a hesitation in the pickup, the downshift, and the steering. All negatives to the vehicle, in my opinion. Okay, everybody, and there's my review of the 2019 Jeep Latitude. It's a nice little SUV if that's what you're in the market for. I know I have some friends that's looking for small SUVs. I'm not sure about the reliability of Jeeps. You know, I've had other friends that's had Jeeps, not Latitudes, but didn't have good reliability out of them. And Jeep just doesn't have a good track record for reliability. Some of my favorite things on this are the seats. They are so comfortable. I cannot stress how comfortable these seats are. Something I don't like, that auto start stop, not be able to permanently shut that off. But that's how it is in most vehicles. You can't permanently shut that off anyway. Again, I wore the GoPro on my head. Let me know how y'all like that. Did you get sick going across the mountain watching it? Did I move too much? It was a little awkward for me, and I felt like I thought about it too much when I was doing the video, but I think that I could get used to that as it went on. I kept checking my phone to make sure you could see what I wanted you to see. So if you like that, leave it in the comments, or if you like me mounting the camera to the windshield like I usually do and you can see me and I can talk to the camera while I'm driving, let me know. I can do that also. Either way is fine. I just want to, you know, try something different for you guys. So let me know that in the comments, which one you prefer. I appreciate you watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.